headquarters of Ramsey Solutions. This is the Ramsey Show. It's where we help you, America, help you win in your life, specifically with your money, your relationships, and your work. The phone number is 888-825-5225. It's a free call. 888-825-5225. I'm Ken Coleman. John Deloney joins me this hour. And we've got the good doctor is in here. So this is your mental health and relationship expert. And then I'm in the workspace here at Ramsey. So we don't have a money personality on, but that doesn't mean we aren't going to take money calls. Because we are. We're going to take your money calls, your work-related calls, and then mental health. By the way, they all work together. John and I were talking about this the other day, about how if your work life is sucking, you're going to drag that home with you. And if your home life is on fire, you're bringing that to the office. So all the calls, money, relationships, work, mental health today, we want to help you. You ready to go?
Yeah. And by the way, if your money's not going well, there's no way you can be well.
That's correct, no matter what you're doing.
If you're driving to work and you don't know if you have the money to put gas in your car, your work day is not going to be great.
That's true.
It all works together, man.
Absolutely right. So let's start it off with Barbara in Reno, Nevada, they tell me, not Nevada. Barbara, how can we help?
Hi, Ken. Hi, Dr. John.
How are you?
Thank you for putting it. Good. How about you guys?
Good. We're having fun. What's going on with you today?
Well, first, I just want to appreciate you saying Nevada right.
I got to tell you, I said it wrong enough to finally get it right. It's Nevada. Even though I want to say Nevada, it's Nevada.
Awesome. So the reason I'm calling in is because I have committed plenty of financial infidelity trying to help my father who's disabled. He has little to no income. And it's becoming a problem, obviously, in my marriage because we're now in baby step 2. We're wanting to, knock all this debt out, but at the same time feel kind of emotionally, tied, like wanting to help my father, but like wanting to stay faithful to my, my finances.
So what has happened up to this point? Give the good doctor here a bit of a sample of what financial infidelity has looked like up to this moment.
So my father's come to me for loans. We're not talking like big numbers, like thousands of dollars or anything like that, but, maybe in like the hundreds range. But like my husband and I are kind of like low income. So it's a big deal when we loan out, a couple $100s.
What's
or
your combined income?
Right now, we're a one income household, and we're shy of $39,000.
Why are you a one income household?
So I'm a stay-at-home mom right now, but I had a work injury, and so I've been kind of stuck at home.
What kind of work injury?
So I hurt my back at work.
Can you get a job working from home?
I'm looking into it, but the main thing is that like with my dad, it's kind of become a little bit of like I don't know if emotional manipulation's become kind of like a strong.
Nope.
I don't know if that's a
listen.
strong term.
I just want to stop right there. 100% of this is on you.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
So what your dad is doing, what he knows to do, which is to ask you for money, and he gets it from you.
Right.
And so if you cut that off, or if you say, hey, Dad, it's not a good time, he's going to use whatever tactics he knows. And if he was on the phone, I would say, stop doing that. But the fact that he gets an exchange, money comes from your account to him, he plays no part in that. You give it to him for whatever reason, okay? So whether he's manipulating you, being mean, whatever, you are handing him the money. And at the same time, you're choosing to lie to your husband about it.
You're absolutely right.
So I want you to take full ownership. The same ownership is, and the reason Ken's asking you about what does this look like, and I'm asking you about working from home, is it's real easy to get into this, well, I can't do this, and I can't do this, but I have to do this. And I just think there's a big box of bullcrap to most all of that.
Yeah.
You can get a work from home job. Millions and millions and millions of people have done it.
Yeah, in fact, her answer to your question, you asked her point blank, can you? And you said, Barbara, we're not picking on you, but your response was, well, I'm looking into that. When the answer was yes or no, and the answer is yes, unless the kids are eating up all of your time, but you worked prior to the back injury. So the question becomes now, How long before the back is healed? When does the doctor say you can now resume whatever your previous duties were? The point we're asking here is you've got to make some changes. Number one, we need more income. At this point in Reno, Nevada in 2023, with you have the ability to work at home or in the office, your choice, there's no way you guys should be making $39,000 gross. That's a separate issue from you giving your dad money. But either way, we've got to make some really clear changes in our life.
And it's also easy to get buried by shame. You do one, you don't tell the truth one time, and then that piles onto this, and it piles onto that. And so what I want you to do is to begin to think of yourself, imagining yourself standing up on your own 2 feet and saying, I'm taking control of all of this. Now, has your husband asked you point blank, where's all this money? And you're like, I don't know. And you've lied to him, or have you just done this thing quietly?
So, my husband and I started talking about it a few months ago, maybe more than that, because obviously, like, things started to get tight, and it was like, oh, well, how come we can't, afford that? And then, I had to kind of come clean about it. And so now we're kind of on, I've told him, like, I'm going to put my foot down, because you're absolutely right. The onus is on me. Like, I'm the one that needs to have the backbone to be like, I'm sorry, Dad, I can't. And that's true, because we don't have the money. But I do agree with you guys. I definitely need to get a job from home. I'm not opposed to that at all. So to answer your question, my husband is aware. We've made an agreement together that I'm not going to fall back on that. I'm not going to, feel, what's the word? Like, I'm not going to do that anymore.
Barbara, one of the things that you guys probably should do is a budget. If you guys done an every dollar budget using our world-class app, or the point is a zero-based budget where we're going to spend every dollar on paper, because this is an extra layer of accountability. If you're both communicating on the budget, then the agreement that you just made or you mentioned has more teeth. Have you guys done this?
Yes, so we have a budget. We actually need to plug back into the every dollar app.
Yeah, because there's not a line item for Dad anymore.
Right.
Or if there is.
Or if there is, you agree on it.
We're going to send him $50 a month, and that's what we've agreed on. If my dad was disabled and could not eat without support, I would have a hard time not helping. Okay?
Yeah, of course.
But I would have to sit down and be honest with my wife about it and not lie and hide about it. And maybe I can't send him $500 like I want to, but I can do 50. And I would recommend you and your husband getting on a phone call with Dad so you're both on the same page and say, Dad, we've done a budget. We can no longer afford to support you. We can do this, or we can't do anything. And that's the way it's going to be moving forward. So you're both on the same page. Dad can't pull anybody's heartstrings. And then y'all can get lined up and go forward together. But you got to get a job ASAP.
Thanks for the call, Barbara. Don't move, folks. More of your calls coming up. This is The Ramsey Show.
Well, you've all played the telephone game. The first person whispers a message to the second person, who whispers it to the third, and so on around the table until the original message has completely changed. Multiply that confusion by 100 if you run a business with different software systems that don't talk to each other. That's why there's NetSuite by Oracle. In the early days of Ramsey, we were using different systems for all of our business units. We needed one single source for accurate data. NetSuite was the software we used to optimize and take us to the next level. NetSuite gave us the visibility into all of our numbers so that we could communicate across departments and plan ahead better. And as we grew, it scaled with us. NetSuite worked for Ramsey, and it will make a difference for your business too. Join the more than 34,000 customers who trust NetSuite to help make them smarter and make better decisions and level up their operations. To learn more, get a free product tour at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by Dr. John Deloney. We are here for you this hour. The phone number to jump in is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Let's go to Omaha, Nebraska now, where Jack awaits. Jack, how can we help?
Hi, so I'm 19, and a couple months ago, I had gotten back from vacation with family, and my previous car was a Ford Fusion 2017. I had bought it for $15,000. I took out a loan, probably not the best idea. And within a couple months, I had the engine overheating all the time and head gaskets started blowing. So that car I had to end up fixing, which ended up costing around $2,000 to $3,000. And then there was just one issue after another. And by July of this year, I had to trade it in and was about $8,000 under on that car loan. And everybody that was helping me find cars and everything ended up telling me that it would be a great idea to get this Hyundai Tucson 2020, which probably shouldn't take other people's advice that aren't in a great position, but I did, and now I'm having a car payment that's right around $500 a month, 6 or 7% interest, and the overall loan's $28,000. And I'm just curious what you guys think the best route would be to get out of this situation.
Okay, do you have any cash at all?
I've got $1,000 cash, then I've got right around $18,000 in investments.
What kind of investments?
Stock market, just normal ETFs like S&P 500, VTI, and QQQ and stuff.
Okay, well, because these are stocks, this is not a retirement account, because people call all the time on the show and they'll ask us, should I take money from my 401k or retirement accounts to pay off debt? And the answer is no, because you're not getting dollar for dollar there, and you're hurting your investment strategy. But in this case, with the stocks, as volatile as they are, we absolutely, in this case, would say, yeah, cash out those stocks. That's 18. Of course, you're going to take a little hit on that, but that's going to allow you to make a huge dent in this car. And then my guess is you could knock this thing out with that kind of a headwind. What kind of income do you make?
Right now, I'm making about $700 a week after tax.
Okay. All right. So what do you do for a living?
HVAC, and then I got a part-time gas station job.
All right. Is that part-time gas station job included in the $2,800 net per month?
Yep.
Okay.
What are you doing for HVAC? You only make $2,800.
I'm surprised you're not making more money.
I had some HVAC guys out, and I sneezed, and they charged me $2,800.
Right. So I'm a first-year guy. I've been here for 4 months now, and I'm just working on new residential buildings, so I'm just making that base.
Are you in an apprenticeship?
An hour and that. Yep. So I'm going to be starting school actually 2 weeks from now.
Okay. Is that the only debt you have?
Yep. $200 on credit cards, but I pay off. I don't carry a balance month to month.
Okay.
But
all right, John, you want to take on Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I am thinking about canceling the credit cards because the cash back is 1%.
Yeah, well, that's a game that's a game you're going to lose.
100%. That's a game that smart people came up to come after your money. Not saying you're not smart, but you did buy 2 dumb cars in a row. So you're smart. Your track record 100%. With money is not. Cancel those cards immediately, dude. Just get rid of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would sell all your stocks. And this is what we call a knucklehead tax. And you're 19 years old, dude. I've made stupid decisions with money. Way older than you. So you've learned your lesson here. Don't take money advice from broke people.
Right.
Don't borrow money on depreciating assets. It's just such a dumb thing to do. And man, when you start this apprenticeship, are you going to go up in salary? That is so low. I don't know how you're eating, is what I'm saying.
Yes. So I started off at $15.50 an hour the first 2 weeks.
Okay.
And they bumped me up to $16.50, and then just last week they bumped me up an extra 50 cents.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, I think you've got a path forward. Is that what you want to do? You want to be in that HVAC space?
Oh, yeah, because I know that there's definitely money to be made.
There absolutely is.
Probably. It takes some years in any kind of trade to really start making good money.
Yeah, let me tell you what I would do if I were you. I would bounce on the gas station job as soon as we replace the gas station job. So you need every nickel coming in right now because we want to knock this out. But with your skill set, you're handy enough, intelligent enough, two things that I'm not, to fix an HVAC system. There's a lot more hourly opportunities for you out there using your hands, working multiple jobs. If you're a laborer for an electrician, or I don't care, I would be in those trades working as much as I can, because if you take that stock, the stock dividends, you're going to cash the stock out, I would pay this truck off, and you're going to be out of this thing pretty quickly if you get very serious. The question is, can you put $1,000 a month? I'm just taking minimum, $1,000 a month towards this debt. Could you do that?
Yeah, because my only expenses right now, I don't have to pay rent because I live with my dad.
Great.
So right now my only expenses is phone bill and car, then insurance.
Yeah. I mean, be working like a madman and knock this payment out. So get rid of the stocks, immediately put it towards the car loan, and then get that car loan on a whiteboard or on your mirror, and that's the number. And you go, okay, if I put $1,000 or $1,500 or $1,200 or $2,000 a month, then I'm paying this thing off. And the nice thing is you got a decent car, a pretty nice car, actually.
Yeah, it's a good car.
And you've paid it off. And to John's point, you're not going to go down this road again.
Hey, here's what I would do if I were you. To Ken's point, this Saturday, right after Thanksgiving, actually Friday after Thanksgiving,
Black Friday,
I would print off 500 flyers that I will do all sorts of. I'll hang your ceiling fan. I'll put up your Christmas lights. I'll help you get your tree in, and I'll throw away your tree when we get done. And I would quit that job. Dude, you can rack up some cash. Because you know what my wife said the other day over Christmas break? Hey, I need you to hang these 2 ceiling fans. I need to change these 3 light fixtures out. And dude, if some kid knocked on my door, some 19-year-old knocked on my door and said, hey, I'll do that for $350, I would hire you right this second.
Yeah.
Right? To come in on a ladder, hang a ceiling fan, and you know how to do all that stuff.
If you want to drive to Franklin, John and I have jobs for you.
Right now.
I'm kidding.
Like
don't
right
do
now.
that. Please don't do that. Don't drive here.
Yeah, we've had people do
We've had
stuff.
people take us seriously. I just realized.
Exactly. But listen, I would go flyer your neighborhood the day after Thanksgiving, and I'm telling you, you're going to get some jobs.
Yeah.
Enough to quit that secondary job, and you're going to be in people's homes. You're going to be practicing some of those skills you'll use as an HVAC guy. It's going to be fantastic work.
Right.
Yeah, you can do this, man. So you got it. And here's
Sell
the
all
deal.
that stock today.
Get rid of the credit cards. Okay? Let me just walk you through. How long have you been listening to the show or watching?
Oh, man. At least a little bit before I was 18, so probably like a year and a half.
All right, so are you familiar with our baby steps?
Yep.
All right. Then that's what you're doing here. You're in baby step 2. You've got the $1,000 in savings. Don't touch that. The stocks.
Okay.
And then you're getting after it. 2 and 3 jobs, like John said. And once you get the car paid off, now you're going into baby step 3. Let's get 3 to 6 months of your expenses in the bank. And then after that, 15% of that check, my friend. And then you're off and running.
Okay.
And you're going to be a millionaire. A millionaire HVAC guy who maybe owns his own company and creates jobs. Okay? That's how close you are to changing your life. You got it?
And when you do this, you're going to start a company, and I want you to take care of the 19 and 20-year-olds who come and join your company. When you hire them, I want you to sit down and walk them through what financial freedom actually feels like, because you're going to be on the other side of this.
Love that. Jack, you can do this. We're cheering for you. No more listening to people who are broke on their car ideas. That just never works. But he's going to have a paid-off Hyundai pretty soon.
Yeah. And it's 2020. It's going to last him another decade.
It really will.
Be fantastic.
It really will. Great stuff. All right. He is Dr. John Deloney. I'm Ken Coleman, and this is The Ramsey Show. Don't move, America. More of your calls coming right up.
Hey folks, you know that sinking feeling when you make an offer on a house you love and then you hear there's another offer? You need the Churchill Mortgage Home Buyer Edge. Super fast pre-approval and a secured interest rate. Plus a $5,000 seller guarantee gives your offer the best chance of being accepted. The Home Buyer Edge from Churchill gives you an advantage over those other guys. Go to churchillmortgage.com today to learn more.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney joins me. I'm Ken Coleman, and we are here for you this hour, 888-825-5225. Hey, folks, it's Turkey Week. Thanksgiving is going to be here in just a couple of days, and, Ramsey's joined the craze. I mean, let's be honest. Black Friday, some of you people live for this. Your big deals. Well, we've got the Black Friday deal going on now. How about that? Early access to some of our best deals of the year. Great gifts for family and friends as low as $8. All audiobook gift cards are $8. Gee whiz, John. We spent a lot of time in the studio reading those things.
Doesn't matter. Dave just sells all our stuff.
Gee whiz. Shop all the best-selling books out there for just $10 each. Financial Peace University, also at the lowest price of the year at $59.99. Rachel Cruz and all of her wallets in 73 colors. She has more colors of that wallet than Crayola has crayons. All of those are there. And of course, John, speaking of more colors than Crayola, the Quest for Humans 2001 edition, as in it's the 2000th edition of those cards. Those are also available. The popular Christmas edition. I hope there's a Christmas vacation question in that
I'm not
bunch.
crazy. Of course there is.
Okay, good. And you can get all of those great gifts at RamseySolutions.com/store, RamseySolutions.com/store. And while you're perusing, hit some of the Ken Coleman products because I have 2 teenage boys. And so is that a sympathy ask? You absolutely better believe it.
That's why I head to the woods and bring food home myself because I got one teenager.
Well, you got one, and he's got the hollow leg already, I'm sure.
Gosh.
Today's question of the day is sponsored by Neighborly, your hub for home services. When you want to repair, maintain, or improve your home, stop wasting time scrolling through pages and pages of providers. Neighborly is all you need to remember for a nationwide network of local home service professionals. Visit neighborly.com/Ramsey to find a reliable helper near you.
All right, today's question comes from Marie in Arizona. Marie writes, my husband charges me 41% of my pay for rent and utilities.
Huh? What?
Wow.
Lovely fella.
I think we can stop right there.
I do too. Wow.
I
Do you want me to read the
Ken,
rest?
no, you and I are friends. We hang out.
We do.
You know how rare it is that I'm speechless. And I'm just trying to think of what it would be like if I sat down with my wife and said, I've done the math. You owe me. Anyway, I work 30 hours a week and only make $35,000. There's so much wrong here. We went through FPU, so I have been debt-free for years, but my husband has never really been debt-free. You didn't go through FPU. I used about $80,000 to pay my husband's debts to help him be debt-free several times over the past 7 years, but he doesn't stay debt-free. He even racked up $14,000 behind my back. I refuse to pay the debt off after that. I don't have the money to help him, nor do I want to. We keep our money separate now till he cleans up his debt and learns to handle money. It's hard for me to save money when I'm paying him that much of what I make, but he said if I had to go rent an apartment, I would pay that much or more. Or more. I feel stuck. Wow.
This guy needs the wiffle ball bat treatment.
Yeah, there's very rare.
Smack him around a little bit.
Jeez. This whole thing is a wreck. Marie, if I was you, or you were my sister, or you were my close friend, I would tell you to head directly to a marriage counselor or a therapist by yourself, not a marriage counselor, because he's not going to go. Because you're married to a 7-year-old who has access to adult toys and adult financial institutions. And I would ask, how do I begin to separate myself from this marriage? Because this is somebody who has cheated on you over and over and over and over again. over and over again. And there's no way this doesn't just keep happening. And so you're right. If you have to go rent an apartment, you'd pay that much more anyway. Cool, then that's what I'm going to go do. And it's very, very rare that I tell somebody that, but this is somebody that I guarantee you, I'd be willing to, I don't have a lot, but I'd be willing to bet what I got that this isn't the only thing that he is cheating on you. This is not the only way he's cheating on you. I can
Does this feel abusive to you?
Yeah, 100%. This kind of behavior doesn't happen if there's not an alcohol issue, if there's not a drug issue, if there's not somebody on the side issue, if there's not some emotional, psychological abuse. This is a wreck.
Yeah.
This doesn't happen in a vacuum like this. No. And so just the language you're using tells me you have had to separate yourself from this marriage while being stuck inside of it to keep yourself safe and keep yourself fed and keep yourself housed. And it's time for you to be able to breathe and to walk in your own home and drop your shoulders instead of tensing up even more. So I'd go sit with a professional and begin to ask that question. And if he comes around and says, oh, is she serious? Then good on y'all. I always love a last second. Everybody decides we're going to be grown-ups, but Marie, you're an abusive mess here. And it's time to go sit with a professional ASAP.
John, I'm not a fan of separation and certainly not divorce. I know there are cases where it needs to happen. This one feels like I'm glad you told her to go see a therapist. My question, putting you on the spot, is yes, for her. But I would tell her, tell me if I'm wrong, push back here. Mm-hmm. I'd tell her in the course of doing that to go ahead and separate for the point of there's no longer going to be you paying him 41% of your pay for rent and utilities. We're going to separate until he gets a whiff of reality.
Yeah, so
because this is crushing her.
That's right.
They're already living separately. Do you have a problem with that?
No, in fact,
that feels like he needs a wake-up call.
A 30-day separation just to let the smoke clear is often really good. Okay. And when you do that, you want to have for lack of better terms, a contract. Here's when I'm coming back. Here's where we're going to meet for lunch to talk after 30 days. But yeah, this guy's living a delusional life that she has continued to duct tape together for him so that he can keep flexing and walking around Arizona as though he runs stuff. It's time for her to get out of this because this kind of crap escalates and it just gets worse and worse. So
it's tough.
I hate this for you, Marie.
Thank you for the question, Marie. Brian is up next now in Jackson, Mississippi. Brian, how can we help?
Hey, guys. Thanks so much. I hope I've got kind of a fun question here for you. I'm excited about it. So my 16-year-old son started off cutting yards. Actually, this past summer, cut enough yards that he's sitting with a couple $1,000s in his bank account. He bought a zero-turn mower so he could cut more yards faster.
I'm a little
with
jealous.
his own money. He's done an incredible job, all that while being in band in high school and doing band camp and all the practices and everything that he has with that. So he's doing really awesome with it. And now, because of his hard work ethic, the church that we're at has hired him to be their custodian, which is about a maybe a 10-hour a week job, and he makes $200 a week. So he's making really got an opportunity as a 16-year-old kid make really good money between that and his yard business.
Way to go, Dad.
Yeah, you're dad of the year too, man. Good for you, because that kind of stuff doesn't happen in a vacuum. He's watched his old man work really hard, so good for you, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And he does really well when he gets busy. He hires his younger brother, sometimes his younger sister, to come help him.
Hey, Brian, we got about a minute and a half. We want to help you out. Okay. What's your question?
My question is, I've talked to him about investing, everything with that. He doesn't know for sure what he wants to do about college, but he's got grades and bands, things that'll help a lot with scholarships. But he wants to do something good with this money, that whether it's college, whether it's 10 years down the road for a down payment on a house, whether it's, whatever it is. He wants to be smart because he's going to be making more money than the 16-year-old needs. So trying to help him, guide him along with that.
I would get him a high-yield savings account. Not just your bank savings account. I would shop around. My wife and I have got a great high-yield savings account that's paying us close to 6% right now. So I would park that money because of what you just said. He's got a lot of options. And so I wouldn't be investing that right now. I'd be piling it up, stacking it up. in a high-yield savings account to get the most out of it. And right now, the interest rates are in a really great place for that. So show him how that's working. Just keep feeding that engine. He's tasting it, he's seeing it, and I'd keep feeding it and just show him, hey, right now we're going to stack it so that you can use it any way you want to as we get a better view, if you will, of his future. But you're a good dad, Brian. That's a good kid right there. I got to get me a 0 turn. Problem is I have a postage stamp of a yard.
It's a lot of fun.
Oh, I'm coming out to your house this weekend. This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, it's Rachel Cruz. It's open enrollment season, so it's a great time to explore your healthcare options for next year. If you feel tied down by your budget, check out Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM is not health insurance. It's a faith-based health cost-sharing ministry that has helped members take care of nearly $10 billion in healthcare costs. CHM is an affordable alternative to insurance that gives you the freedom and empowers you to live out your values. And you can join at any time. So find out more at chministries.org/budget.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show, where we help you win with your money, your relationships, and your work. All three of those need to be in sync for you to live a fulfilled, peaceful, enjoyable life, and we want to help you do that. The phone number is 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. Dr. John Deloney joins me. I'm Ken Coleman, and we are here for you this hour. Let's go to St. Louis, Missouri. Roy is there. Roy, how can we help?
Hello.
Hi.
Well, I guess let me start. I'll start with the worst. I was recently diagnosed with a rare cancer. I have about 3.5 to 5 years life expectancy.
Wow.
My wife and I, just before the diagnosis, I knew this was coming. At the time, I had no insurance, so we got a medical divorce, and we put everything that I had of value went to her. So the home was in both our names. It is in her name. We had 2 rental properties that are now been moved to her name. Also, a small business that we have that was moved to her name. She took my retirement from a job and what we had put together back. And we have about $26,000 in credit card debt combined together, and I have a student loan for $7,500. We have about $175,000 put back for retirement and about $10,000 in cash. So my question is, what debt should we also have a HELOC for $40,000. My question is what debt should we approach first? And if I were to die before my debt was paid off, she would be not responsible for it.
Are the rentals cash flowing? Are they paid off? Or are those also debt?
Their debt, they pay for themselves. They cover the mortgage. They cover insurance and taxes and some basic upkeep each year.
So walk me through. I just want the full picture here before John and I weigh in. Give me the 2 rental homes, the debt plus what you think you could get for them today. Let's go rental home 1.
Rental home 1, she owes around $40,000, and I believe it would bring $120,000.
Okay, number 2.
Rental house number 2, about $43,000, and it should bring about $120,000 as well. They're both exactly the same size, square footage, same footprint.
Sure. And let me make sure I heard you correctly. Those are spitting off just enough to take care of your basics. You're not really in the profit once you look at improvements and things of that nature, correct?
Maybe altogether a piece, maybe $1,000 a year they clear.
$1,000 a year, both of them combined?
Clear, yes.
Okay. Well, okay. And let me make sure I got everything else. You have the lowest debt you have is a $7,500 student loan. Next is the $26,000 credit card debt, if I got that right.
Correct.
And $40K in excuse me.
HELOC.
Thank you. Okay, so, and we have $10,000 in cash. Are you familiar with our baby steps? Before I walk you through this, I don't want to.
Yes, I've been listening to the show off and on for several years, and I'm all over the place on the baby steps.
All right, so let me just give you the basics, because this is going to walk you through what we would tell you to do. Mm-hmm. So the first thing we say is we put $1,000 in the bank, which is just a basic starter emergency fund. You've got $10K right now, okay? Mm-hmm. Then we would say baby step 2 is we go smallest to largest debts. We pay off the smallest debt first. That's for momentum purposes. So that means we would take on the $7,500 student loan. Whatever the minimum payment is on that, we would roll that into the credit card debt next once we paid off the $7,500 loan. So we go smallest to largest. That means debt 1 that we go after first is student loan, debt 2, the credit cards, debt 3, the HELOC. Does that make sense so far?
Yes.
Okay, great. So based on what you've given me, we've got $10,000 in cash. We're going to take $9,000 of that, leaving you $1,000. You still with me?
Yes.
And we're going to pay off the student loan as soon as the phone call's over. That still leaves you $1,500. You still tracking with me?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. So then we're going to take the $1,500 left over, and we're going to put it on the $26,000 total debt. So if those are multiple cards, then you would go at it that way. Do you understand what I'm saying? So is that all one card or multiple cards equaling 26?
2 different cards.
All right. What is the debt on each of the 2 cards?
One is around $11,000. And one is around 15.
Okay, great. So we're still in order. So we're going to go, we take the 9 out of savings, pay off the student loan. We have $1,500 we put towards the $11,000 credit card. All right. And now that knocks that down to $9,500 if I'm keeping score properly. All right. So now you're off and running. Now, John, I would sell one of these rentals immediately, if not sooner. And I would wipe out the rest of this, just given the situation with your health and what you guys are trying to do. That's what I would do. You don't have a lot left on these homes, but what I would do is sell one. Now, this is me. John can weigh in here in a second. I'd sell one of these, and if they're both worth around $120, your numbers, $40,000 is what you got left on the first one. So that leaves you about $80 minus your realtor fee. So let's just say I've got $60,000. I'm going to pay off the rest of the debt, and if I can, most of the other rental home. You see what I'm saying? I'm cleaning all this up so that my wife has no debt at all as soon as possible. We're not going to wait 3 years. We want to get after this now. That's what I would do. John?
I mean, I can't emphasize this enough that you're, like you mentioned it, you're all over the place. Who gave you, this is, I've heard of this on the periphery, but you're the first person I've talked to. Who walked you through this medical divorce?
I've been reading about it, and we went and talked to a lawyer, and that's what we kind of came up with. At the time when I was diagnosed, I did not have great insurance at all. And when treatment started in 2022, me not being able to work, I had nothing. I eventually qualified for, Medicaid, which is taking care of all my medical debt so far. And I just wanted to protect her. And I had been reading where spouses had died with hundreds of thousands, if not millions, in medical debt from an illness. And I knew about this illness in 2021. So I was trying to prepare her and myself for worst possible outcome.
I'm just trying to picture myself having to sit down with my wife and come up with either side of a pretty grim calculation, right?
Yeah, and I'm 56 and she's 62, so she doesn't have quite a few more years to work, and and of course we know what my outcome is. So I was just trying to protect her the best that I could. I didn't want everything we tried to save over the years just go away and be ate up.
Are you confident that they won't come after her anyway, or at least try tangle her up for years in legal proceedings?
According to our lawyer, they cannot come after her because whatever debt I incur now, if I had medical debt, I'm just me.
Wow,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's just such a disastrous state of the world we live in right now. That's the choice. But that's not the purpose of this call. And so I just want to tell you we love you, and I hate that you're going through this. I mean, you're staring on a very short runway here, and I want to applaud you for being noble and trying to think of everything. I cannot tell you this enough. Minimize every and all variables. Sell everything you can. Pay off everything you can. Your wife may not want to be a landlord after she loses you. At least give her that rental house paid off. At least give her current home paid off. Pay off all of your debts that you can. And that means, yes, like Ken said, sell one of those homes. Clear up every single variable possible. Even if it's not as advantageous, you want to give your wife as smooth a sailing as possible.
Tough call. Thank you, sir. We were praying for you. This is The Ramsey Show. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, this is The Ramsey Show. It's where we help you win in your life, specifically with your money, your relationships, and in your work. 888-825-5225 is the toll-free number. 888-825-5225. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, good pal, Dr. John Deloney. We're here taking your questions. We'll take your money questions, but when we're together, we love to take those work questions, those relationship, mental health questions. All of this stuff is intertwined, so no shame in your game today. We're here for you. 888-825-5225. Tucson, Arizona is where we start this hour. Michelle is there. Michelle, how can we help?
Hi there. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
So my husband and I bought our house about 3.5 years ago, and it's a custom in my dad's culture to buy the house for their kids, but he couldn't afford it at the time. And now 3.5 years later, he can afford to pay off our house for us. And I'm just wondering if I should take that money and pay off the house or do something else with it.
What culture?
Lebanese culture.
Okay. And so how much is the payoff?
About $320,000.
And he's got the cash.
Correct.
Man, that's not in my culture.
I was going to say.
I need to call my culture committee and get that thing switched, man. That's incredible.
John, can you take the rest of this call? I'm going to go step outside and call my dad.
No kidding. I got a high five when I bought a house. My dad was like, get him, guys.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So is there any – so let me ask this. I think I understand your question, but it feels like there's a question behind this question.
Yes.
Are you concerned about something? Are you wary of how to do it? Tell us what you're rattling around in your head.
Are there strings with this money?
Yeah.
Well, the house is in our name already. So
say that again?
Take the house. The house is in our name, so it's not like he can give us the money and, take the house or anything. But he does like to brag about giving the money, but that's not really, I'm not too concerned about that. I just wondered if there was like a way to invest that money and take, and make like an monthly income off that money. I mean, I don't know. I'm not very smart with investing.
Well, let me ask you this. Well, first of all, the answer is yes, of course. What was the amount of money again? $320. Okay. So the question is Dad giving you a gift of $320,000 to do whatever you want with, or is he giving you $320,000 to pay this house off so that he can tell everybody, in my culture, this is what we do, and I've now done it?
Correct. The second one.
Okay.
Well, and
so the first, that takes the question off the table that you asked us. It's not an option.
Yeah.
And by the way, I would not if I had $320 left on my mortgage and somebody gave me a gift of $320,
I'd take it.
I would put it on my mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
By
know,
the way, that's a massive investment.
That's the ultimate investment. Then you have freedom. You can do whatever you want. You have no house payment.
Right.
And then everything you spend on a house payment, you can invest however you want to for the rest of your life because you don't have a house payment.
Yeah. It's pretty neat.
Have you ever been in a house that you owned that nobody else could take from you?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, hold on a second. I got to bring the good doctor in on here. Now, I may be reading into this, Michelle. Tell me. I do not mean being wrong. I have 3 teenagers and I've been married 25 years. Basically, my whole life I've been wrong. Okay? But it feels like when we're telling you this, John's laying this out and you're like, yeah, that's pretty neat. It doesn't feel like you think this is neat. Am I right or wrong?
Well, I mean, it would be nice if we had the money to pay off our own house.
Of course it would.
Of course. Do you feel then that is not okay? Now I think we got something.
Is it ego?
You don't want this. You want to feel like we did it.
Right. I mean, my dad bought me a car when I turned 18. He's like, "You're not touching my car, and that's my car, and don't take my car."
All
So
right.
it's like,
Okay. That's the strings we're talking about. If he's going to give you that, and then he's going to say, whoa, you put your daughter in a nicer school than that. And you and your husband say, no, we decided on this public school. And he goes, no, I paid your house off. You put that kid. If that's going to be the life you're signing up for, I wouldn't touch that money. Because then you're trading being a slave to a mortgage company to being a slave to somebody who just gave you $320,000 and thinks they just bought a claim into your life.
Yeah, I mean, he says he wants me to have peace of mind, and he's actually changed a lot, especially having grandkids now. He's a lot softer around the edges. So,
but you wouldn't be calling us if you were not nervous about taking this check.
Well, of course. I mean, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, but
He's your dad.
Is this how serious is this? Is this him telling you think he's going to weigh in more? And you want him to stop weighing in, or is this just I want to be a big girl and do it on my own? Which one is it, or is it both?
Well, I mean, I would like to do it on my own, but at the same time, I'm not going to tell somebody you can't give me $320,000.
All right, but then answer the other issue. You think he's going to give him more entree into your life to make a comment here and there if he does this?
I mean, maybe a comment here and there, but I don't think he's gonna.
Well, I'll tell you what I would do.
He's gotten a lot better.
So you called to get our opinion, yes?
Of course.
All right, I'll give you mine real quick. That issue lies with me. If I had an opportunity and my dad, because of his culture, wanted to give me the money and this was something he did, I would take it. And I would go, if he makes a comment at Thanksgiving or makes a comment at Christmas or he comments on the kids' school or the kind of car we buy, I'm just going to smile and wave. My favorite line from the movie Madagascar, the little penguin, smile and wave, boys. I just going to take the high road and go, $320,000, debt-free house, $320,000. I don't know. I'm going to take it to my professional friend there.
That's what I would do unless you know. So I'm thinking if Dave Ramsey came to me and said, hey, John, you've been a faithful employee for X number of years. I'm going to give you $350,000. Oh, and by the way, you're now on call 24/7, 365. I wouldn't take that money. I've been on call for 20 years. I've lived that life. I'm tired. I want to go be with my family. So I would tell him, hey, thanks. I appreciate that. The money would be awesome. I could do some great things with it, but it's not worth selling part of my soul. If he called me in and said, hey, here's $350,000. You've been a great, faithful employee. I loved your work, and I just see you here for the next decade, and just wanted to honor you and your family. I would do somersaults out the building, and probably my shirt would fly off as I ran to my car screaming and yelling and cheering. I'd be that happy. Okay? And so only you know what the strings are with this money.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And if you're saying no because I just want to do it myself, that's ego.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
Flush that down the toilet, man.
Yeah.
That's how people stay chained to like car payments and student loans. That's ego. My kid got into this school. You can't afford that school. Well, we're going to make it work because that's ego. Mm-hmm. If it is, no, my dad becomes a third adult in our household, I'm not touching that money.
And by the way, if that's not a resentment thing, I would do it. And if I would put up with all of his stories, let him crow Sing,
But
yell, scream about how he paid your house off.
Kid,
I
think
don't
about this.
care.
What if you
Great.
were able to give your kids $320? I would be so happy. I would want to tell everybody.
100%.
I was able to help my kids out like this.
Yeah.
That's legacy.
I don't hear anything, Michelle, that says you shouldn't take the money. I'd take the money. I really would. Maybe do a little Monopoly money, humble pie, and eat it. I would pay the house off instantly. I go, Dad, this is great. You're the best. You're the man.
I'm calling my dad right now.
Me too. Wow. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, if you're in over your head with student loans and tired of getting calls from collection agencies, if private student loan debt is taking away your financial peace and you don't see any way out, you need Y Refi. They're not a debt settlement company and they're not connected to a bank. Y Refi refinances defaulted private student loans that other places won't touch and gives you a custom loan built for you based on your ability to pay. So when you refinance your private student loan debt with Y Refi, you'll have a payment you can afford with a low fixed interest rate you couldn't get anywhere else to help you stick to your budget and work the debt snowball. And you can save thousands of dollars. To learn more about this custom refinancing option and a lump sum payoff option you could qualify for after 24 months, call 844-2-RAMSEY or go to yrefi.com/Ramsey.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman. I'm joined by my colleague, Dr. John Deloney. The phone number to jump in is 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. Okay, so our fearless leader, old captain, my captain, James Childs, he emailed John and I earlier today. He goes, guys, there's a viral video that I want to have you guys weigh in on. So, James, set this up for us because we've not seen it yet. So what's going on?
Yeah, it came up in one of our content meetings this morning, and it seemed like the perfect thing for you because it revolves around work.
Okay.
And it's one of those things where you watch it once and you have a certain reaction, and then as it sinks in, you're kind of like, there's a deeper thing there. So I didn't want to set it up too much more than that.
Great.
But
all right, let's roll it.
Work until we have to die just for the privilege of being alive. We have to work somewhere just to afford a house that we're never at because we're working to afford the house. Is the meaning of life to work and pay taxes and then die? On top of that, we also have to work to afford our vehicle to get to work in other places and afford gas just to get to work. And we also have to pay taxes for our roads to drive on to get to work. And then we have to work for our children to go to school to learn how to work. So our children know how to work for their children so that their children can go to school and go to work. Like, somebody tell me that this is fair. Like, is it lazy to just want to enjoy life? Like, why do we have to work? Why? I'm stressed.
I just checked my student loans because I need.
Interesting. So this went viral, you said? Yeah, okay. Well, okay, couple things. John, I can see the tendency for some to just, lay into this young lady and the snowflakery and these things. And I've seen some of these before and have made those comments, but I got something a little different here. I don't see lazy, spoiled entitlement, although I could understand if some see that. I see a little bit of desperation, and I think I see a whole lot of no understanding. And that's not her fault. Here's what I mean by that. I don't think the adults in her life, and I'm not just laying out the parents here, but we adults in her life, whoever we is, we've not done a good job of explaining that there is contribution that is involved with work. Yes, we've got to work for provision. Does that suck? Sort of, kind of, if that's the way you look at it, right? but I saw sadness. I saw a lack of, what is the whole point of all this? I want to enjoy it. She goes, should we enjoy life? I think the answer is emphatically yes. But I think when we see work as just this thing to get a paycheck, and it's gonna suck, and I gotta just muddle through it, and the way she laid it out, I do think that's the way a lot of people look at work. I mean, we did a curriculum at Ramsey Solutions that we talked about this with high school students, and I asked about the dream job. And I said, what does that mean to you? And to a kid, they said, it's this idea of this thing I'd like to do, but I have no chance of doing it. So if you look at that, then the idea of enjoying work and showing up and doing something that is meaningful when you do your show and you meet people in a place of pain and you step in with them and you give them hope, I mean, that's rewarding. And I just don't think she's been taught that there is a reward to work beyond $1. And I think we've failed in that regard. I'm going to say that.
Yeah, and I think if the only places you work are soulless giant corporations that you know the only thing you're contributing to is a few people at the top getting rich. You haven't connected what you do to, you're not solving a problem for somebody.
Yep.
You are a cog in a machine. You are a car in a traffic jam. Then that sort of desperation rings true, and I get that.
Yep.
I've had to explain to people who aren't in our ecosystem, I've had to go develop hobbies because I like work, because I've always tried to be about solving a problem for somebody.
Right.
And I like doing that. And so here's when I get crossways, and when I'm just sitting with people who struggle with mental health challenges. When I have a day off and I plan, quote unquote, I'm going to do nothing. I'm just going to do nothing tomorrow. Inevitably, about 11 o'clock, I am about 1,000 calories more in than I normally am. I feel miserable. My neck hurts because I've been laying cockamamie, watching some stupid show that, we were not made to do nothing. You say this better than anybody. We're made to contribute. Yep. To something bigger than we are. Right. And this is a voice, I think, generationally that I wish politicians would listen to.
That's right. We
don't have a lost generation of quote unquote snowflakes. We don't have because if you work with these, they work hard and they weirdly care deeply.
Yeah.
They just have come to understand, we are playing somebody else's game. We're contributing to nothing other than getting our boss another retirement home.
You nailed it.
And I'm out.
They've done the math, John.
They have.
They realize that the average American, they don't walk around saying this, but they've watched their parents and grandparents work what amounts to about 90,000 hours in their lifetime.
And they get laid off.
Yeah, and they're going.
They get dropped. They get cancer, and there's that's it. This is it. This is what we.
I think this group has a chance to transform work as we know it.
Absolutely.
But as I've said a million times, if you spend the majority of your day using what you do best, these are things you're good at.
Yeah.
To do work you enjoy, to produce a result that you care about.
Right.
That's really rewarding.
And you can't wait to get up and go do it again.
You can't. You and I both, we share this. I mean, you stick us on a stage where we're answering questions with real people, we'll stand up there for hours.
Well, you and I fly across the country and leave our families. That's how much we love
100%.
it, right?
And so what is that? So that's for us, that's helping people with that. But for other people, it's welding.
Right.
For other people, it's teaching. For other people, it's being in a hospital and being bone tired.
Yes.
And taking one more surgery because you know that you can help and you love it.
I sat with some guys from Hiller Electric. I don't mind calling them out. They came to my house when our power went out, and my power is connected to our well, so we had no water, we had no power, and those guys wake up every day and say, we can help a family have a better day today.
That's right.
And it just keeps them going and going. They have purpose behind it too. Is it hot? Yes. Is it exhausting?
Hot.
Yes. Is it the worst? Yes. Yeah. And there's a purpose tied to it.
That's right.
And so I think, here's my dream. I wish every leader, whether you have 5 people working for you or you're run a huge restaurant chain and you have 50,000, you're not just making burgers. You're helping this person find a little bit of margin and time and eat so that they can be with their kids. Or if you connect even your front level employees to how we're helping somebody today, people you just become a part of it.
Here's what I wish I could do. I wish I could hop in the car with her and go, hey, tell me what you're really good at doing. And we'd hear.
Yep.
And we'd hear some awesome things. And we'd say, who are the people you really want to help? Or what are some of the problems in the world that make you upset and you would be rewarded if you solve those problems? And you begin to paint a picture that she has a unique design plus a unique story that tied together, she's got something where she goes, I would actually be really rewarded and fired up to go do that. Yes. Oh, and by the way, make some money, have some life balance, leave work at work.
Yes.
Go home, love of my friends, travel the world.
Yes.
Do some cool things. Give some of that money to somebody.
Or like Tara, the person who takes care of our calendars. If you ask her,
that's right.
What do you put on earth to do?
Yeah.
To be the best executive assistant who ever lived?
Yeah.
Those kind of things make me want to pull my fingernails out.
I get it.
And every day she wakes up and she's like, I'm going to go make this, I'm going to do the best job I can. And then these guys are going to get where they need to go and they're going to get to be with their families. And like, it doesn't matter what jazzes you up. It doesn't have to be an Instagram reel. But go find that thing.
Culture, what we've done here, and adults, what we've done here is we've given these kids the wrong picture of life. It's not work 90,000 hours, hope to have enough left over in your 401k, that's when I get to enjoy life.
And
We're
it's not
painting
work
an incomplete picture.
to buy the fanciest car to get you to the job.
No, it's work for contribution and adjust your lifestyle to that.
Yes.
I keep coming back to, every time we have these discussions, to the largest millionaire study ever done by Ramsey Solutions, and teachers. A median salary in the United States right now is $61,000, and arguably one of the worst workplaces in America right now. They're leaving in droves, but they're everyday millionaires. Why?
They make peace with a Corolla.
That's it. You nailed it.
They make peace with a Corolla.
That's it.
It's a great car. Get me to and from. I'm going to go help kids.
And they're fine with it because they know they're turning on light bulbs every day, and kids that they're teaching are changing the world. Appreciate the video, James. That really is a big,
James,
grand discussion.
try to track her down on Instagram. Let's have her on the show.
Wouldn't that be great to actually have her on? That's a brilliant idea. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Go to Blinds.com now and save up to 50% off everything site-wide. Visit Blinds.com today to learn more.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman. Dr. John Deloney joins me. 888-825-5225. We're here to help you win in your life, specifically your money, your relationships, mental health, and your work, so you can make more money, get in the right seat on the bus, whatever it is. We're here to take your questions today. 888-825-5225. Every Dollar is our world-class budgeting app that helps you manage money the Ramsey way. Every dollar works wherever you are, iOS, Android, or online. You can start for free and just get an idea of how easy it is. You get organized, stop overspending, and save more money. If you're new to Every Dollar, we'll show you a long-term financial roadmap, track your net worth, your debt-free date, retirement date, baby step progress, and so much more. It's like your awesome mentor right there on your device, and we'll coach you to win with money and build wealth. Download the free app for iOS and Android, or go to everydollar.com to get started. All right, let's go to Alberta, Canada. Kim is with us now. Kim, how can we help?
Hi, thanks for taking my call. My question is, how much of my income should I set aside each month to start and build a business so that I can leave my 9-to-5?
Okay, give us a little bit more of your side business picture. How much is it making? How much are you making in your day job?
So I haven't started the business at all.
Oh, okay.
All
right, so let's look at your current income. So what do you make?
Sure. So I make $130 a year, and my net monthly after I pay all my expenses is $6,000.
Okay, so $6,000 left over after all expenses. Yeah. And do you have any debt?
I have no debt.
Wow. Okay, what is this business that you're looking to start?
So I'm kind of back and forth around two ideas. One is a digital marketing agency, and the other is a property management company for vacation rentals.
Okay. And how much time do you see yourself having to put into those businesses? Think of A and B. So digital marketing A, and let's call property management B. How much do you think you have to put into those to get those up and running? Much time. How much time?
Probably, I would say at least 20 hours a week.
20 hours a week. And then how much money?
And how much money? Mm-hmm. I think that my startup costs would be $5,000 to $6,000. Okay. And then I would have probably $1,500 to $2,000 each month. Just depends if I wanted to run targeted spot Facebook ads or something that would make my costs go up.
Okay. And are you single, married? What's your relationship status?
I'm single, on my own.
Okay.
I rent a 3-bedroom house for $2,300 a month, but then I rent out the other 2 bedrooms. So one is a larger bedroom with 2 twin beds, and I rent those out for $750 each.
Okay.
And then I have a third single bedroom I rent out for $950. So my rental income is $2,450 a month, and then I pay the landlord $2,300. So
yeah, you're doing great. My only other question is,
I drive a used vehicle.
Yeah, no, you're amazing. I know that. So before I tell you what I think on this, the $6,000 that you have left over after all expenses, does that include you investing 15% of your income?
That does not.
Do you have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months expenses?
I'm on baby step 3 right now.
Great. Okay, so I would fully fund baby step 3, and then I would move into baby step 4 and be investing 15%. Once we achieve those two things, then I would save up. You're going to save up very quickly. I think you said $6,000, $5,000 to $6,000. What you think is a startup cost, I would save up the startup cost, and I would also save up 6 months of operations before I ever launched. I really would. I'm very conservative on that, but the reason is because I want you to have stress-free startup for a side hustle. You know, it's hard enough to start a business. There's so many different potholes that we know that entrepreneurs go through in that first year of the business. And I'd love for you to be pretty stress-free to go, this is kind of burn it in the middle of the table money. I know that I'm investing in me and this business. And so I've got that set aside. And with the margin you have and the discipline you have, I think you can do that. And I want to get John to weigh in here. And that leads me to this last piece, which is, you've got to choose on these, and I would spend some time. I wrote a book called The Proximity Principle that I'm going to give you as my gift, and it just simply says this: in order to do what Kim wants to do, she's got to be around people that are doing it, and I want you to have hangout time with copious notes from people that are running both of those businesses before you choose and before you launch. Does that make sense?
Sit down, take them for a coffee?
Yeah. So let's say John right here was a digital marketing stud. And I mean, he'd been in business for several years, crushing it. I'd want to sit down with John, lunch and coffee. And I mean, I'm not doing much talking other than asking questions. And I've got a pencil and I've got a notebook, and I'm going, John, how did you start? What kind of cash did you have when you started? What were the hardest things you had to deal with? What were the traps? What are best practices? I mean, I'm going to basically do a college level research paper on ideally a couple people that have won in those two businesses. Let me tell you why. I'm going to get all the information I need for my head, and then my heart's going to ultimately decide. I think you do both of those, your heart's going to go ding, 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 or when you hear the good, the bad, the ugly. John, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, how does that hit you?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I haven't sat down with anyone in property management. I know some people who run digital agencies. I could talk to them.
And here's what you're probably going to find. You're going to find either they say, I wouldn't do this again for anything. Or they're going to tell you, like when people ask me like about my job, I just tell them like, I feel like I'm running a scam. Like I can't believe I get paid to do the work that I get to do. And property manager is going to tell you, dude, it's amazing. It's a headache over here. It's really great over here, but incredible. Or they're going to tell you, please, for all that is good in the world, don't do this job. You know what I mean?
But if they say that, Kim,
ask
John's
them why.
Right. Follow up why. Because what I'm trying to do here is get the head and the heart aligned. The head is the logic. Gathering,
yeah, you think it's going to cost $5,000. You don't really know.
We don't know. And so we want to have a real good let the brain do what it does best. Gather information, logically walk through it, but then let the heart decide. And you might have someone go, well, listen, you can make this, you can make this, you can make this, but I'll tell you what, if I had to do all over again, whatever, and you go, I don't really care because I'm not wired like you. I think I'd love that. So that's the process that I want you to gather. And it's a selection process. Here's the other reality. You might sit down and do both of these and go, it's neither one of these, which, by the way, great, because you're still stacking up money and you've got an entrepreneurial desire in you to work for you. Yes?
Yes.
Then the selection is so important. But a lot of entrepreneurs get enticed by opportunity A, opportunity B, and we go, is it opportunity C? That's what I want you to do.
All right, Ken, I'm going to ask Ken a question, Kim, on your behalf. Is that cool?
Sure.
Ken, how many people that you've talked to over the years are like Kim? They make a great income, six-figure income. They've kind of figured out life a little bit. Not afraid to have roommates, make the extra money, not tied their identity to a car. And sometimes when we get settled psychologically, we're wired. We're not wired for settling. We're wired for perseverance, and we start looking over the next hill. And I hear this all the time, quote unquote, if I could just do this full time, whatever this is. And there's this fantasy that if I wasn't doing this other thing, if I wasn't married to her anymore, if I wasn't living in this house, then, and what I always tell them is, whoa, no matter what you do, you go with you. And it might be fun to dream about, and she might even get one digital marketing client and be like, yeah, but she's making all this from a platform she makes $135,000 and has health insurance and has all this stuff worked out. How often do you have people jumping ship too soon to this quote-unquote magic land of doing this full-time?
To the tune of millions. It's called the Great Regret. We all heard about the Great Resignation. What people didn't pay attention to is how many millions of people left for a better job, this better life, this better check, all these things.
And they went with
got
them?
there and they were like, oh, that's not what I was looking for. So it happens a lot, and that's why it's a great question. That's why, Kim, I really want you to do the work. Let the head and the heart connect and align, and when you get the ding, 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 then we move. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman. Dr. John Deloney joins me, and we are here for you. 888-825-5225. If you got any work-related questions, you're not making the money you want to make, maybe you feel like you've been overlooked or you're feeling burned out. Those burnout calls, as you're thinking about next year, John and I love those calls. There's really two sides to that coin. We'd love to take any of those calls, your mental health, relationship questions, Dr. John in session today, and of course your money calls. Feel free to call us. We're here to help you guys. 888-825-5225. Colin is up next in St. Louis. Colin, how can we help?
Hi. So I'm 25 years old, and I had a question on if we should pay off, me and my wife should pay off our truck or save the money. We have a 2-year-old. We got married 2 months ago, and we have $6,200 left on the truck. Our take-home pay per month is about $5,600. But with another baby on the way at 9 weeks, we don't know if we should go into stork mode or go ahead and pay it off.
Yeah, well, congratulations on the little one coming. That's exciting stuff.
The baby's coming in 9 weeks, or she's 9 weeks down the road?
9 weeks down the road.
Okay.
All right, so we've got $6,200 left on the truck. Is that the only debt you have?
We have her car, but we are going on stork mode for her car because it's a little further out.
Well, give me the whole debt picture then, real quick.
Okay. No student loans. We're cash flowing that. And basically just the truck and the car. I think we owe $11,000, $12,000 on her car and $6,200 on my truck. But her car payment is basically $270 a month, and mine's close to $800.
Yeah. Well, we normally give this advice, so we want to make sure we batten down the hatches. We want to be very smart for the baby. So what would you say? Do you know what your out-of-pocket would cost for the delivery and all that? Have you done your homework to see, okay, what kind of cash would we need beyond insurance?
Yes. So her insurance, she's a teacher, so basically her insurance is really good. It's $5,000 out the door, and we have that set aside already.
Well, what do you think, John? I mean, he's got the $5,000. You never know other costs.
Yeah.
So
what do you do for a living, man?
I'm a carpenter.
Carpenter. So let me throw option 3 at you, and I do this thought experiment just for myself. Me and my wife do it all the time. If I ever feel like I have an either or, I always invent a couple of other options just in case. I'm not cornering myself on accident. So let me give you an option 3. What if you continued as a carpenter to stack money up? And we talked about this on an earlier call. And Friday after Thanksgiving, you wallpapered your neighborhood with odd jobs. And so I tell you this, like my wife asked me to hang up a couple of ceiling fans and change 3 or 4 light fixtures. And then at the top of our upstairs area, a light went out. So I got to get a big lighter to go fix it. If some guy knocked on my door Friday morning and said, hey, for a couple of $300, I'll do these odd jobs, I would sign it that second. And what if you put a number? You've got 9 months, okay, 8.5 months. What if you put, actually, that's not math, 7 months. What if you put a number? I want $10,000 extra dollars. And honey, I'm going to put the gas pedal down, and I'm going to work odd jobs in the morning and the evenings on the weekends. And so when baby comes, we will have this cash stacked, and we're going to be debt-free on both cars.
Okay. So I guess maybe a caveat to that is I do have the cash from odd jobs to pay off the truck.
Okay, and you also have the cash for the $5,000 out the door for the pregnancy and the delivery, correct?
Yes, we have $22,000 liquid at this point.
Dude, lead with that next time. Pay the truck off.
You're fine. I was going to just follow John and say, look, in your situation financially, I wouldn't stop paying on the truck or car at all. I didn't know you had it in the bank. I'd definitely pay off both today because that's 17, and you still got 5 left over plus the 5. For the delivery. So you're covered for just a standard pregnancy. You're still going to have 5 left over. And what are you paying? So your car payment, you're getting a big raise from those 2 car payments.
Yes.
Bro!
What are you doing?
I think part of our problem is we're living with my parents right now. So she's ready to nest, essentially, or start nesting and looking at a house or something to rent.
Well, that doesn't change any of the advice we'd give you because you don't need to be taking on renting and all this stuff if you still got debt and you've got this little situation here. You could pay this off today, then you can go rent, right? Pay it off today, and then we go rent because you got a nice deposit.
Get your wife an apartment
for Christmas.
Get out of the house.
Yeah, I love this idea. John, with the idea of the year, that's the Christmas present.
Merry Christmas, hand her some keys to an apartment.
Oh, yeah, buy a fancy box.
Have no debt. And then you're making, what, $6,000 a month, right?
$6,200. Oh, wait. Take home is $5,600.
Yes.
But
not including side jobs, yes.
Right.
Okay.
And John's already painted that picture. I mean, dude, you're a carpenter? Is that what I heard?
Yes.
Dude, you have more work than you could possibly do.
Yes.
Hey, hold on. You're making $5,300 take home with her job and your job?
$5,600 between the two of us, and not including that's me full time and her full time.
You're not charging enough, man.
And then the side jobs bring in anywhere from $5,000 a month to nothing.
You're not charging enough, dude.
Well, either way, you know your market out there. I'm hoping that you're charging what the market rate is in St. Louis. But listen, you understand what we're telling you to do? You cut the check for $17,000, a check for $11,000, and a check for $6,200 as soon as the call's over. Now you're going into a second child with no debt at all. And you still got $5,000 in an emergency fund for baby step 3 to 6 months. You already got $5,000 set aside in the stork fund. You guys are okay, man.
And let's get that emergency fund up over the next 7 months.
I agree. That emergency fund would be the insurance on anything that would happen.
I'll let her know. I'll let her listen to this, and I'm so glad. I was worried. We're worried because if we don't have a lot liquid, we feel like we're scared.
Dude,
we're terrified.
If you do what John said and put a flyer up all over St. Louis saying experienced trade carpenter for hire, dude,
no job too small,
you would be inundated.
Put it on Facebook Marketplace in your neighborhood.
Okay.
Hang Christmas lights?
Yeah. Anything.
I'll go get your Christmas tree and then I'll come pick it up after Christmas. I'd give you $1 million for that job. Just kidding. I hate dealing with an old Christmas tree. But dude, it's just like endless amounts of work right now if you'll go out and get it. And you sound like somebody who hustles. Here's a rule of thumb. If you can enter into this next kid, you've got $10,000 in the bank plus the $5,000 that you've already set aside. So this is you earning another $10,000. Right? And you're able to find an apartment that y'all can afford. Don't go get something knucklehead, but y'all gonna have an apartment you can afford. Dude, you're just good to go. You have no debt. You don't owe anybody anything. You got $10,000. That's 3 months emergency fund. You got a new place, and you've got all the thing paid for.
Let me give you a little nugget here. I think this may help, Colin. If your girlfriend or wife, if your wife is like, hey, I don't know about paying off the $11,000, just say, hey, babe, this is how much of a raise we're going to get when we get rid of those 2 car payments, and that's going to go towards your new apartment, like Bob Barker.
I see that.
You see where I'm going? Because she may push back on that, but you got 22 in the bank. You're still going to have 5 left over, and oh, by the way, babe, it makes it easy for us to afford that apartment. She's going to be so thrilled to have her own nest. That's how you win that deal if there's a little pushback.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if that's going to work or not, but it feels like it would work.
I just think it'd be pretty good.
She wants a nest.
It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, and
one time I rented a house. My wife thought she was coming to move into a residence hall, and I rented a house, and it's one of my greatest Christmases ever.
I got
it was just a gift.
On that
I put a Christmas tree in it and said Merry Christmas, and pretty good.
Such a romantic, Dr. Deloney.
That's what they used to call me, the romantic. The romantic. No one's ever called me that. Actually.
Never.
Not one time.
Never.
Ever.
All right, folks. Great hour. Thanks to James Childs, our fearless leader, and my colleague, Dr. John Deloney. And you, America, this is The Ramsey Show. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, this is The Ramsey Show. It's where we help you win in your life, specifically with your money, your relationships, and your work. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Dr. John Deloney, 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. I got to point out, John, we have a fabulous studio audience today. Great-looking group of people that have traveled in from all around the country waving at us. And I want to remind you folks that we're here Monday through Friday. Check the schedule at RamseySolutions.com. And we'd love for you to come by on your way to whatever you're doing, or if you just want to come hang out with us, you're welcome. We've got free coffee and baked goods, and it's always fun getting out and saying hi to the good folks that are in the lobby.
One even showed up here with a George Camel T-shirt on. I don't even know what to, psychologically, I don't even know what to make of that.
And then it got worse because then we had to pose with it.
Oh, man.
And
George is going to print the picture of us posing with the dude wearing his shirt.
It's true. We're never going to hear the end of it.
He's going to put it up in his living room.
It's really true.
It's a whole thing.
It's really true. So anyway, we had to swallow our pride for that. But that just proves we'll take a picture with anybody. Because if you're wearing a George Camel T-shirt and we take a picture with you, I mean, that's the bar doesn't get any lower.
There was an Ohio State person that
they were very kind.
You ushered them off the stage.
She was very kind. She was very kind.
That's true.
And so it's the week of the big game. It's Turkey Week, hunting week for John Deloney.
It's all of it.
How many hours are you going to be in the woods this week? Do you have an over-under?
I basically am feral from now until Christmas.
Okay, I like that, folks. He did shower. I can tell you. I'm in close proximity.
I hosed off.
He smells delightful. So let's get to the phones. Jack is with us in Detroit, Michigan, the Motor City. Jack, how can we help?
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet. What's up?
Okay, so about last August, my girlfriend and I bought a house together. We're not married. I'm 26 years old. She's 24 years old, and we are now separating. We bought the house for $385,000.
Oof.
We put 5% down, and so now there's about $26,000 left on the mortgage, or in equity, and $360,000 left on the mortgage. And so basically, my question is, I'm torn between selling the house and either trying to buy her out through like a loan assumption or a loan modification.
Sell the house and get out.
Get out.
Sell the house and get out.
Get out.
Yeah.
Okay.
You both are on the home, right? The loan?
Yes, we are.
Where's she at on this? Have you had a conversation?
So she's basically, whatever I wanted to do, she wants to get out as soon as possible as well.
Sell the house and be done. You're 26 years old and you'll have another house. Because here's the alternative. If you meet somebody and you get married, is she going to want to move into your old girlfriend's house? No,
probably not.
Yeah, sell your house, dude. Learn your lesson.
Okay.
Don't buy a house with somebody you're not married to.
I was going to say, Jack.
I mean, if you're able to sell this house and just split that last little bit of equity with her and y'all walk away, you have dodged a bullet like the Matrix, man.
Okay. Yeah, I've had some realtors come by, and so we bought it for $385,000, and they want to list it for $450,000, and they think it could sell anywhere between $450,000 and $500,000.
I would have it listed by this weekend.
Yeah, get out of this thing quickly, and Jack, don't ever do this again.
I won't. I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
Good. If you can learn this lesson and make a little money on the side, congratulations. And sorry about your breakup. I know it's painful, especially holiday weekend. That's no good.
Yeah, 5 years, met her in college, so
that hurts,
life
man.
goes on, chapters go on.
I'm sorry about that. Hey, my breakup in college wasn't near as bad as this one, but I went to Vince Gill. I went to Vince Gill songs, so I don't know if that's... I did. He's got a great song. I think it's I've Been Trying to Get Over You or something like that. I may have messed that up.
I think Jack's a more Cardi B guy.
You think so?
I just made that up.
I think so, too.
Really know who Cardi B is, but...
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm impressed that you even got that name out. That's great. Let's go more your neck of the woods, shall we? How about Waco, Texas? Marty is there. Marty, how can we help? Hello, Marty.
Hello.
Hey, Marty.
All right, there we go. Hi, gentlemen. So I tried calling last week. They had me calling this week. I spoke to the SmartVestor Pro this morning. The big thing I'm trying to figure out right now is making a career change. I'm looking at possibly starting my own business right now, and that way I could try and create some more margin and reduce my working hours.
Okay. So what's the business?
I want to start my own private security company.
Private security?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And have you any experience in that field at all?
I do.
Okay. I'm going to be asking a lot of dumb questions, which is probably good for somebody as clueless about this business as I am. What kind of licensing? What kind of do you need? Do you already have it? Is that going to take a while? Give me the qualified answer.
Yeah, so to sign up, I already became my own private security agency. That was free for me because I'm a veteran. And I got my most basic level for security, which doesn't allow me to carry a firearm, even though I have my LTC, which is weird.
Okay.
Either way, that's a non-commissioned officer. I want to actually like start doing real security work. I would want to get my firearm. My commission officer, which allows me to become a firearm. So eventually I would want to work up to the top level, which is personal bodyguard.
Yeah.
Have you, I imagine you've done a bunch of napkin math. Have you called some guys who actually own security companies who run with these guys? Because the guys that I know, I've only know a couple of them. All I hear them talking about is how hard it is. People don't show up. It's just tough gig. Have you talked to those guys and had coffee with them and taken notes?
I've tried to. I've gotten a hold of like multiple people that either friends know or I know and all that, and they all say, "Oh yeah, I'll get back with you," and I never hear back.
All right, let me ask you this: are you planning to just be sole proprietor, meaning just your services, or are you trying to staff up right away?
No, at first it'll just be a one-man show, just me.
Yeah, all right.
But
So-
I would like to grow and expand, of course.
All right, so we got about a minute and a half. What's the heart of your question? What did you need our advice on then?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out. I'm going to be done with baby step 2 here in a few weeks. Working on baby step 3B, as well as looking to try and move into.
What
a
are you
different
doing
career
now?
field.
What are you doing now, and how much do you make?
I make 41 working as a park ranger for Texas State Parks.
Okay.
I also make another 12,000 working as a factory worker at night, and then I do a bunch of odd jobs.
All
on
right,
the
so you know what I would
weekends.
do? I would try to replace the factory worker at night and some of the other odd jobs with this private security
All day.
detail, because that's a lot better money.
Concerts,
Stack.
ball games.
That's right.
Call Baylor University and start working some of their
So-
game security.
And then the answer, Marty, then you move on from your $41,000 job as soon as you can replace the $41,000 in income through security, which I would guess is pretty quickly. Get busy, offer your services, get out there. But I think that's when you make the move. But keep the day job until you can replace that income with a security job. And then don't look to hire a bunch of people quickly. Get really good in premium pay on your own. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. The phone number to jump in is 888-825-5225. I'm Ken Coleman. John Deloney joins me. We're here to answer your questions about your money, your work, your relationships, your mental health, whatever you want to ask about. We're not going to make football predictions for Thanksgiving Day, though. We will not take those calls. Just want to point that out. Let's go to Alicia now, who joins us in Seattle, Washington. Alicia, how can we help?
Hi. Thanks for taking my call. I really appreciate it.
You bet. What's up?
I'm in nursing, getting ready for nursing school right now. I'm working as a CNA, making decent money. However, I'm working the baby steps, and I'm finding it hard to get a way to bring in new income. That way I can just pay down debt as fast as I can without losing it. And I'm just wondering, the first question is, should I sell my car? I don't know if that's really a stable idea or not, so I'm just wanting some advice on it.
Okay. Tell us about how much you owe on the car and what do you think it's worth?
I owe $14,420, and I'm getting estimates from about $6,000 to $9,000. So I'm wondering, would it be worth it to just have freedom if I pay off that $4,000, or should I just keep the car, being that I'm about to start nursing school? I don't know where I'm going to be traveling, or should I just suck it up and ride Metro?
Well, That's interesting. I was going to ask that next. So the car is only worth $6,000 to $9,000. You owe $14,000, so you'd have to obviously go get another smaller loan, which would certainly save you a little bit of money.
I would say keep the car.
I'm thinking that too.
Because Metro is notoriously unreliable for time. And if you have a shift that you have to be at, that's going to be really tough to do.
What is your Metro situation? Are you close in to where it's a lot more reliable, or is John right? Is that kind of a sketchy situation?
Right now, I'm pretty close. I'm only about maybe 3 miles from work. The only thing is I'm looking for new work because the grace has left for the job I currently do, but I can't just jump ship because it currently affords all of my bills. So I'm waiting for something that can actually do that.
What other debt do you have?
I have credit cards and student loans and a little bit of medical bills.
All right, give me the numbers. Go smallest to largest.
The smallest is the medical bills. That's about $3,000. Credit card is $5,000, and my student loans are $1378.
Okay. And what you said is you're just not able to make much headway based on what you're making now. What are you making now as a CNA?
Before or after?
You tell me. It doesn't matter to me. Give me your after.
When I come home, it's roughly $3,000 to $3,400. If I work overtime, I can do that, but it's kind of hard to do overtime because I'm in school.
In school. So well, that's pretty tight, isn't it? $3,000 take home.
It is a little tight.
Yeah. How much more schooling do you have?
A little bit over 2 years.
Wow. And so you don't have any other, you have no other time during the week where you can work to make some more income?
Not really. Not in past my classes.
Okay. This is real time thinking through this. I wonder if you paused the nursing classes, would that set you behind? That's an ignorant question because I don't know how those programs work. But if I could pause, it would set you back?
Because I've already wasted 2 years not doing what I should have done. That's why I'm being so intense about it now, because I know this is between me and my next career step is actually finishing nursing school.
Okay, so I hear what you're saying. So let me say it this way. Let's pretend you're running a marathon. And the first 2 miles of the marathon, you got out pretty slow and you were talking with your friend and you were just kind of absorbing everybody cheering. And then you realized, oh, no, I'm way behind my pace. And you just started sprinting as fast as you could go. You would make up miles 3 and 4 pretty quick. And then at mile 5, you would collapse and crash. What I would want you to do is to slowly pick up the pace over 26 miles. And so you feel like you've wasted 2 years. I bet you $1 million you didn't waste it. Even if you learn something really important about yourself and about what you want and about who you're going to be and your purpose, you didn't waste it. It may not have invested it the way you would have wanted to invest that time, but it's your life. It's you did what you did. It might be, and I've counseled countless students on this, it might be, hey, if I took 6 months off of this program and just worked 20-hour days, just worked every place who would hire me, and I got this debt paid off, then I could breathe, and then I could be fully into these nursing program. And then actually, when it comes to mile 26, 5 years from now, you'll be way further ahead than you are right now. You see what I'm saying? You feel like you have to catch everything up in 2 years so you can get on this thing and make this money and go. I want you to play a 10-year game, not a 2-year game.
Elisa, that's why I asked the question. I don't mean set you back emotionally. I mean set you back professionally. You can pick back up is my point. If you had to pause, you can pick back up, yes?
Yeah, I could.
All right, so hold on. I know you're not believing yet, but John's 100% right. So let's just run the numbers. Can we play the numbers out real quick?
Sure.
All right, let's just assume for this example that you've paused nursing school. With you working overtime, busting it, what do you think, how much debt do you think you could pay off each month? Give me a number don't be modest. Don't be too aggressive here. Give me a modest number that you think, if I was working overtime, like John said, how much money could I put towards debt each month? What's a number?
If I really went at it, I'm thinking close to 1,000 because what I used to do was just get a second job, but school is in the way of that right now.
All right. So that's awesome. Let's just say you can do 1,000, and I know you can.
I know you can do 1,000.
I think you can do more, but I like the modest number. Based on that and your numbers that you gave me, you're paying off the $3,000 medical loan, the $5,000 in credit cards, and the $14,000 on the car. That's $22,000. That's 22 months. Nursing is still going to be waiting on you. In fact, it's wide open. The field, they need nurses like crazy. No one's going to judge you for taking a 22-month pause. Nobody. And you're going to be able to jump right back in. To John's point, though, and he's right, you either do that or you're going to be really intense just trying to survive the next 2 years.
So here's a crazy thing that happened to me. My dad was a policeman and then became a minister. And money was super tight my whole childhood. And the way I tried to solve that, like I saw what happened to him and I said, I don't want that to happen to me. So I chased a whole bunch of degrees so I could make a whole bunch of money. And what I ended up doing, because of my fancy degrees allowed me to make more money, I dug a way deeper hole than my dad could have ever dug for himself. And if you go on this trajectory for 2 years, Ken and I are looking at your numbers, you're going to have to end up falling backwards on a credit card. You are one flat tire away, one transmission issue away, I got COVID, I got the flu, and I had to miss a thing. There's no way you can make these bills. So you're going to get 2 years from now, and you're going to have dug yourself a deeper hole than you have right now, which means you're going to have to go make more money, and then somebody's going to say, well, why don't you just get your master's in nursing? And because I've lived in this community, I know you guys, and y'all are all about education and improvement. And so, dude, 22 months, Ken just mapped it out. I bet you can make a plan for 18 months. And if you went right now in January and you took one semester and then next year off and just said, I'm going to be so maniacal about getting this debt paid off so that I can start January of 25 completely debt-free and waltz right into you're going to be standing 6 inches taller because nobody will have claim to you. You will be on your own 2 feet. And I know 18 months feels like a million years after you just feel like you blew 2 years. I don't think you blew 2 years. I think you survived 2 years.
Agree.
And there's always a treading water season for all of us in our lives. And now you're back on it. But that's just, again, I've just counseled too many students who go so hard, they dig themselves it's like hitting the gas in a mud puddle. You end up just digging a bigger hole that's harder to get out of. And that's my fear for you because your margins are so tight right now.
Yeah. What do you think, Alicia?
They are tight. Everything feels tight.
Yeah. See, we want you to be free from that.
Yeah, I want you to breathe at night.
I don't think you're trading 2 years. I think you look at it as I'm trading 2 years. I think you're trading some peace of mind. And then when you get into nursing, even more peace when you're actually working and you're actually enjoying the work and stacking cash. That's what we're asking you to do. Bust it hard, pause nursing for the 18 months. I think you can do an 18, maybe less. Then you enter into that full-time nursing job. You're debt-free. That's what we want for you. So hopefully you'll go do that. We believe you can do it, Alicia. Thank you so much for trusting us. You're going to do great. You're going to help a lot of people. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman. I'm joined by Dr. John Deloney. The phone number to jump in is 888-825-5225. Our scripture of the day is from Romans 12:10. Be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. Our quote of the day, and this is fitting, we lost one of the great ladies in America yesterday, Rosalind Carter. President Jimmy Carter, what a couple.
Yeah.
I don't know how long they've been married. It escapes me right now. I want to say it's close to 70 years. I could be wrong on that. Never had a chance to meet her. Mm-hmm. I had the privilege of interviewing President Jimmy Carter on the very first radio show I ever did. Crazy story about that. But I don't care where you fall on the political aisle. You're talking about two of the kindest, nicest, humblest people on the planet. It was sad to see that Rosalind Carter passed away.
And that's a couple that just dedicated their lives to serving other people.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's presidency, historically arguable. People criticized him, and he did maybe his greatest work post-presidency, which speaks to the man.
Yeah.
And she was right there with him. Anyway, great people. I know the people of Plains, Georgia, any Georgian right now, proud of Jimmy and Rosalind Carter. So anyway, the quote from Rosalind Carter, do what you can to show you care about other people, and you will make our world a better place. I think she modeled that.
As clear as it gets.
Say?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, so fantastic. All right, let's go to Phoenix, Arizona now. Jesus is there. Jesus, how can we help?
I had a couple major questions, but main question I did have is me and my wife are just starting on the baby steps.
Welcome to the cult, man. Welcome.
All right.
I said, welcome to this wild crew, man.
You threw
glad
him
to
off.
have you.
Yeah, welcome. How can we help?
He threw me off.
Sorry, man.
You're
Sorry.
doing great. You're doing great.
I'm excited to have a new gang member, dude. It's awesome.
So what we want to try to do is, I know in Baby Steps 1 it said to do $1,000 in an emergency fund. And I've done debt collections, customer services, sales for 10 years. My wife, she doesn't know anything about how well to do her finances because I've helped her whenever she moved down here to Arizona. But now we're just starting with the baby steps. We're already married. We've been married for over 2 years now. Been together for over 10 in general. So whenever we started, we're kind of debating $1,000 to save into a savings account. We've got a loan for emergencies. And our mind, we want to try to at least do at least a month or 3 months worth of all of our bills into one for savings for that total amount, and then start with the snowball or the avalanche effect to paying off our debts.
How much do you owe, man?
Grand total, about $67,000.
What do you make?
Both of us together, $72,000.
Okay, so
we have benefits. We have certain benefits of our company that we do because we both work at the same place. We carpool, so it saves us money.
Sure.
We also get other benefits like an extra $20 per, $40 for us for Walmart runs since we have those. But in regards to that, we're just trying to debate where to start and what to start with.
Yeah. So, the fact that a $20 benefit is something that you guys hang your hat on, it's not a bad thing. That tells me how much you're treading water. And when I look at 67 in the hole and 72, y'all are leveraged almost dollar for dollar. Like your chest is pretty tight, isn't it?
Somewhat, but it changed. We've actually originally changed a lot of that. I used to do over-the-road truck driving.
Okay.
So I used to easily make $1,500 to $2,000 a week.
Okay.
And that was nothing. My wife would be at home, she would work, or we would go on vacation together, technically her vacation, my job.
Okay.
So we would go over the road, 5 months, that kind of thing. I did have a truck, an old Dodge Ram that I used to have, that was $858 per month. So I got rid of it, traded in for a new vehicle that I purchased a couple months ago, and took that out of the equation where it's not $858 a month. Now it's $437 a month instead of saving me about a couple $100.
It does, but you're still playing a month-to-month game. And so for the baby steps to work, you have to literally throw out everything you know. This is not a math problem. And what I would suggest to you, with all due respect, like high five, like I'll buy the next round. Like, so it's not me talking down to you. It's just two dudes across the table from each other at the bar, right? The way you've done it hasn't worked. And so when you think of only having $1,000 in emergency, that should scare you to death. It's intentional because we're not doing a math game here. We're doing a psychology game. Because the math game is so rigged in all these other businesses' favor that a $20 shopping credit to Walmart makes you feel like a benefit. Or, hey, I went from an $800 payment down to a $400 payment. Look who's winning now. And I will tell you, the finance department at the car dealership that's selling you depreciating assets continues to win. And so when we say $1,000, that is in case like a tire blows. That's in case something, we just need to hobble down the road as fast as you can. And what we're doing is that's why we say smallest to largest, a snowball, the snowball method here. We're not looking at the avalanche stuff and what do you have the highest interest rate and all that nonsense, because that's a math game and math games don't work. Look at America. We're broke. The only game that works is a psychology game. And if you pay off one little bitty credit card, you see the light at the end of the tunnel gets a tiny little bit brighter. And then you pay off the next one, and you get an ad in the paper or in the mailbox, and you're like, forget this. And you get the next one, and you start to get these little bitty wins. And little wins are the key to psychological health. It's the key to marriage health. It's the key to financial health. Mm-hmm. And so you thinking you went from 800 to 450, like you won, you technically improved your financial position. A car dealership still owns my friend Jesus. Because if you don't want to, if you get sick tomorrow, they're going to want their money. And if your boss says, hey, I need you to cut some corners and do something a little bit shady, they want their money. And if they don't, they're going to come to your house and take your car from you. See what I'm saying? So we're like Ken and I, Ramsey, we're playing a whole different ball game. And that is what is the quickest path to absolute freedom? Nobody owns Jesus, period. That's what we're aiming for. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Totally different ballgame. Right. And we've helped millions and millions.
The tactic is trying to basically penny pinch some of the stuff that we can provide, but also, you only have this as an emergency fund. All the rest you need to get rid of.
That's right.
Get rid of that car. You need to get rid of that SUV.
Now you're talking.
Get rid of the motorcycle payment.
Now you're talking.
All that.
Jesus, here's what happened.
I've already paid off my my student loan debts already whenever I was doing over the road.
Excellent. Good work, man. So you got it in you, dude. You got it. You just got to get it. You got to start following a plan.
Yeah. Here's what happens. The intensity that you have to run with after this debt and the intentionality of the baby steps together it gives you tremendous momentum. And here's the deal. Let me just answer this practically too, because if you have to dip into that $1,000 mercy fund, you have to wipe it out and then build it back up. There's going to be some life emergencies, but it's the intentionality and the intensity that you have to get after it, which is what you win the day. So you don't try to game the process. The reason Dave put it in place like this is because statistically it works.
Jesus, you're a guy that goes to the gym every day and you lift every day. Here's what you need. You need a plan that you can follow because you're already in it. You can do it. Hang on the line. We're going to give you Financial Peace University. All 9 lessons is our gift, and we're going to hook you and your new wife up with Every Dollar, the greatest budgeting app on planet Earth. I want you to watch these videos, follow them to the letter, and my brother, you're going to be debt-free. Okay? Go get them.
Good stuff. Dr. John Deloney, I'm Ken Coleman, James Childs, and all the guys in the booth. Thank you guys for keeping us on the air. And America, thank you for tuning in. We do this for you. It is The Ramsey Show.